This is going to be Liverpool's downfall this season. Arne Slot has a big headache on his hands because Alexander Isak was bought for around 100 million in total to Liverpool from Newcastle. And first game he's in the squad, first game he's available, he plays against Atletico Madrid and he starts the game over Hugo Ekitike. Now, the thing is, he plays 58 minutes, then he gets subbed off. 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 aerial duels won, 0 big chances created, and he completed 1 out of 3 dribbles. This man had an absolute stinker, but we have to give him the pass that this was his first game with Liverpool, playing probably one of the best defensive teams in the world when it comes to Atletico Madrid. And not only are they one of the best defensive teams in the world, this team can be playing some haram ball. When they play their 4-4-2, it's more like a 5-5. They're just playing extreme defensive play. They're really hard to break down. Liverpool, they started to open them up because Salah scores a free kick, then a bit of a play between him and Gravenberg puts him up 2-0 right away, but then Atletico Madrid kind of come back. But they started opening up space, and Isak just could not take advantage of that. Now, my problem is, right here, Isak, your first game that he's available. Hugo Ekitike on the bench. My problem with this is, out of the 5 competitive matches prior to this game that Hugo Ekitike played, he had 4 goal contributions, 3 goals and 1 assist. Now, you might be saying, oh, he had, a couple games without scoring. But the thing is, out of 5 games to have 4 goal contributions, I feel like he had done enough to be able to start the home opener of the Champions League over Isak, who hadn't been in the squad with Liverpool. So this is what I'm talking about as a headache, because you've spent over 200 million on 2 strikers. That is very, very unnecessary. Both of these guys feel like they should be starting. But the thing is, you can't really play both of these guys in Arne Slot's, kind of way of playing. It's only one striker, and both of these guys fit the mold of the striker. They're both a bit similar. But the thing is, because you've spent so much money on both of these guys, it's going to be very difficult to balance their minutes and keep them both happy, because Isak is coming for a Premier League record fee, and then Hugo Ekitike is coming from Germany for around 95 million. So both of these guys got big time money. Big time money means big time performances, but how are they both going to have big performances when one is on the bench and the other one's starting? It's going to be very hard to control, because imagine this is the equivalent of Arsenal going out and getting Gyökeres and Sesko. It's like, lads, you have to pick one. It's good to have a backup, but you definitely have to pick one. And spending over 200 million on 2 strikers in their prime, when they both feel like they should be the starting striker for their club, is gonna be a disaster, man. And you've already seen the beginning of it. Hugo Ekitike comes off the bench, and then he has a absolute sitter that he misses, and then Isak had a stinker, because these 2 guys want to be playing every single minute. To me, this is going to create a huge headache once we get later down into January, February, when one of these 2 guys is going to be unhappy because the other one is getting more minutes. And obviously, Isak's going to get a bit more bias, since he's literally the record-breaking transfer fee in the Premier League. Now, Liverpool have already not really looked that great. You might be saying, oh, Liverpool's first place in the Premier League and they've won their game in the Champions League, but they haven't looked all that great. And also, this comes with Wirtz not being able to adapt yet, but he did look a bit better against Atletico Madrid. I am not an unreasonable hater. All right, so Crystal Palace, you lose in pens. Hugo Ekitike scores a goal. Here, the Bournemouth, Hugo Ekitike scored another goal, by the way, and it was a last-minute goal from Chiesa, or else you would have dropped points. Liverpool ends up blowing a 2-0 lead against a Newcastle with 10 men. Last minute goal from Rio, the teenager, ends up saving them. Then wonder free kick from Dominic Dominic, I always have trouble with this name. Oh my god. Sorry, apologies, I'm butchering it. I usually get that name wrong. But he ends up scoring a wonder free kick, 1-0. Boom. Burnley, last-minute pen from a ex-United player, Hannibal, which is an absolute disgrace of a decision. You think this guy was betting for Liverpool the way he put his elbow in that. So you end up getting saved from the buzzer beater there. Slobosly. There we go. I got it. But 1-0, Liverpool wins last-minute pen. Terrible handball at the end. Then you play haram ball, Atletico Madrid. You're up 2-0, you blow it, then it's 2-2, last minute Virgil van Dijk. So Typically, yes, to win a Premier League title, you have to be able to win these scrappy games, but it can't be every single game where you have a last minute winner. Eventually, the luck will catch up to you, and that's my thing with Liverpool here. Liverpool have spent big time money, more money than Arsenal. You know, you've spent over 250 million on two strikers, let alone, and then you have Wirtz, who you also spent over 100 million on. So you've invested quite a bit to be able to not be able to put five against Burnley. You know, Arsenal, an example, has put five against Leeds. City have had big wins against Wolves. You know, Liverpool still haven't had that, big win. And they're going to play Everton, they're going to play Southampton, they're going to play Crystal Palace. These are teams that they should be able to, comfortably beat. And I feel like they will get the 9 points out of here. But the thing is, their style, they're not their style of play, but their ability to adapt already to the squad with these big signings need to happen ASAP. And balancing the minutes between Ekitike and Isak is going to have to be, done properly. I don't know how you're going to do it. I haven't seen a situation like this in a very long time where you have two strikers coming in the same transfer window for almost 100 million each. We probably never ever seen that before. And now it's going to be something for Slot to really think about, because I'm telling you, one of these guys will be unhappy when it comes January, February, that they're not getting enough minutes and they feel like they're performing more with less minutes. And it's going to cause a problem in the dressing room, which will lead to, points being dropped. And you don't want that. So that's why I think the downfall is going to eventually be Hugo, Ekitike, and Isak fighting for minutes, and one will eventually be unhappy. Yet, we're going to see how Slot does it, but this is going to be probably the biggest test in Slot's career, in which he has to figure out a way for both of these strikers, who are coming in for around 100 million minimum, are going to be able to adapt, with one being on the bench and the other starting. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment down below. Do you think Liverpool will be able to get through this, or will this be what makes them lose the Premier League title? But anyways, thank you guys for watching.